quiet down. I don't want to like awkward quiet. I can't take up like that much noise space. I already see that, like, of course, right, his palate bounces out a little bit. So I want to be really careful. I'm either, depending on the style of cut I'm doing, I'm either going to keep it a little bit lower so that when I blend, I don't have to cut into this length and make this shorter. Or if it's going to be a super short cut on top, I'm probably just going to take my fade high, and this whole bottom side of the cowlick is just going to be blended in super tight and short. I'm going to go with the latter and just kind of drop them a little bit lower in the back so that we don't have to lose that. And then we want to keep the facial hair, right? And just clean it up?
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I have a chemical hair gel? Thank you, ma'am. Of course, we have to disinfect everything before we use it, right? So one of the big things too when you're blending, if you use that comb and make sure you just rock out, you're already halfway fading that in, getting it blended in that first step. So like this chick, she's like already a girlfriend, or you're still having to like impress her right now?
One of them.
Okay. And look down a little for me. How long have you been working with chafing?
Like almost 2 years.
Yeah.
It's alright. Yeah. Bike shop's cool, man. It's not like here. Like here's like pretty structured and cool. Bike shop is just like the Wild West, man. See what they're doing.
No one has to deal with me showing up. So
Exactly,
I can't do
yeah.
it like that.
Dude, can you imagine if you had like some bike professionals? like tie him up and throw him in the back. That's what you guys do.
It is hotter than hell in here. Is it
Yeah.
always this hot?
No, this is cooler than normal.
This is cooler than normal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really hot in here.
It was like so humid.
The product's melted.
It's like all week that it's been like 79, even though the air conditioner's on full blast.
I drip with sweat in here.
Yeah. I was like, it felt fine until I started cutting hair, and immediately the temperature goes up like 20 degrees, right? Look at it. That's why you got more than one girlfriend.
That's cool.
So after I hit his sides here, I'm going to go in with my trimmers. Because the whole part of the B&T, right? Bottom, middle, top. So we want to finish everything down below before we even move on. And it kind of makes some clients nervous when you do this because a lot of guys are used to this being the very last step. So they're like, dude, she hasn't even blended in my sides. I've got a bowl cut right now. She's cleaning up around my ears and she's gonna leave me looking like an idiot. So a lot of times I'll let guys know after I finish this part, I'll spin them around, tell them, okay, we're gonna trim up the top and get your sides.
I think it's good to make them sweat it out. And then when you get done, they're like, oh, it looks good.
I'm gonna say communication is key all the time in any relationship, even if you're just cutting their hair. Because if you have them sweating in your chair, it's really hard to fade, right?
Yeah, and then you
Guys
have to
come
wipe
in
it.
and they want a zero fade, and they're sweating and just like dumping sweat, and like your clippers are like skipping on their head. Yeah, this is the thing that happens.
I think most guys are
You can't see
oblivious the
anything
whole
because the hair's
time.
stuck to their head. And then they see a shadow. I see a shadow. It's just hair.
I'm sure you guys see shadows all over in here.
Yeah, the lighting is bad.
Tell your boss
Well, what's up?
that his lighting sucks in here.
I will.
And this is the ones that they change.
And the AC's bad
This
too.
is the better stuff. These are the better ones.
Yeah, one side's super dark and the other side's light, and you have to kind of just hone color to make sure you did it even.
I'll let them know. I'll yell at them.
Do it.
They know.
You're like, bro, I was trying to get a haircut, and tell them, see, I didn't even know what my haircut looked like because it was so dark. She turned me towards the mirror and was like, how does it look? And I was like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
And of course, everyone knows, right, if they have any facial hair, we're going to offer to clean it up for them while they're here. And it comes with their haircut.
For free. It's not really for free.
Do what?
Yeah, that's for free. And I was like, I don't know why I just said that because it just comes with the haircut.
Comes with
It's
it.
not really free.
No, right? So do you like the length that your facial hair is at, and you just kind of want the lines cleaned up and everything, or you want me to roll through it? And
Yeah, like, I actually usually just trim it, but I've been really lazy. So, I mean, yeah. I mean, I usually just kind of keep it like really short, you know?
like, you think maybe the same length that I have on the sides of your head?
You know what? I don't have my glasses on. I don't really know.
And the lighting.
Yeah, and the lighting.
And the lighting
killer.
sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I usually just go with like a, pair of scissors and just kind of
You
knock
go
it
in there
out.
with a pair of scissors?
Yeah, just kind of knock it out, you know?
We're gonna pretend like I'm completely set up here.
Very cool.
I got you.
Yeah, thanks. Honestly, like I said, just do whatever you're gonna do, man. I don't care. I was halfway,
That's totally what's
like I
happening
said,
right
I was
now.
expecting Jason to be drunk with like a pair of scissors and like just come down. I didn't ask any questions. I was like, okay, I'll come down.
He said, go get your hair cut, and you're
Yeah.
like, absolutely.
I was like, sure.
I love the blind faith.
Yeah.
That's a number two.
Yeah, I've been the independent contractor of the month for a long time there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna roll through with a 3 first. I don't really think it's gonna do much for me, but it's always better to check out the longer first. So it's okay to go down shorter than when you
Yeah.
had it, right?
Yeah, do what you're gonna do.
Close your eyes for me. Especially when you do the mustache, these little hairs, I'm sure you guys have noticed, like to fly everywhere. And they will most definitely land in your client's eyes. So you can always let them know, hey, go ahead and close your eyes while I do this part. Sometimes I tell them after the hair has already shot them in the eye. And then it's done nobody in the head. So after I take the length out of it and I go to line it up, I always re-clean this and then hit their top lip. And then after you do their top lip, then line up everything else. But give them a nice, fresh, clean pair of trimmers on their top lip when you do that. Go ahead and then turn that other way for me. A lot of times it's easier just have your client turn their head to get the other side instead of trying, if you're right-handed, it's kind of hard to reach across the left and do the same thing. So just having him turn to where he's facing me makes it easiest. And notice I haven't needed to lay him back to put a headrest. Hey, look up. I'm just finding where it looks like it naturally kind of finishes being full, right? I'm gonna take it down too crazy low, unless that's what they want. I didn't ask him what he wanted because he said whatever I wanted, so that part of the consultation's done. Bless you. You wanted to bless her, huh? And then you didn't want to mess up the beard. Excuse me. Are you hot?
We need one of these for the bike shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has a turbo button. Woo! Makes it even better. So I'm almost done with the bottom. Now I'm going to go ahead and taper his neckline, and then everything at the bottom will be finished, right? These metal blades get kind of annoying because you have to sanitize every single one before you use them. That works. Run this down for me. So I always take the 0 just high enough to straighten out their natural hairline. So a lot of guys have like that arch, right? Like that little M. He doesn't, but we'll just pretend, say he had like that M hairline here. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna pull my 0 so that now this is the neckline, right? You can't see that. And we always want to flick it out. You never want to pull it just right up to the next spot and stop. When you get to that top, it needs to come out. What number is that one? This one's my 000 now. Oh. So I started with a 5 on at the very bottom.
What's a 5 on?
Really, really close.
Zeros?
Yeah, 5 zeros instead of your 000. That's 5 0. So if you do like a 0 fade with your regular 0, then I would take my 5/0 and I would hit all the edges where it would taper out, and then my balder, because then it just completely goes out to nothing. So I went from my 5/0 to my 000, and now this is my 0A. One thing with my metal blades that I hate when I get to my 1s, my 1A and my 1.5 do not like fully blend. So I have to like really pull it out to make it work.
When you're saying pulling out, you're talking about scooping?
Rocking it out.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's that scoop motion, right? I know, I probably shouldn't say pulling out in a barber shop.
I thought it was kind of cute.
I think he's done now.
One of the girls, whenever she would use the blow dryer, she's like, okay, I'm going to blow you off now. And I'm like, quit saying that to them.
Yeah, and we have BJ's over there, and I was doing my guy's haircut, and I'm like, oh, BJ's are so good.
Yeah.
And he just, I was just like, BJ's really good.
I love BJ's.
Yeah.
Make those tips though, huh?
Yeah.
This is why we do men's hair.
But you have to admit, their happy hour is really good.
When I like to do this with them turn this way because, of course, I need to keep changing out my blades, right? But as I'm doing it, I can look in the mirror, and that's honestly looking at the reflection of a haircut in the mirror is so much better than what you're looking at straight on. Especially
Yeah,
like
because
now
you get a,
with light.
yeah, the light's really bad.
I think you were bleeding earlier.
Oh yeah, it was.
Like, stop.
Dude, hazard pay, man. Crazy.
I got that from the footstool. Remember? Were you here that
I was
day?
here.
Yeah.
That was me.
So what kind of styling product do you typically use in your hair?
None.
None?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I'm lazy. I'm gonna wake up like 5 minutes before I leave. Let's go.
Do you brush your teeth? Do you brush your teeth?
Oh yeah. Start brushing my teeth.
Okay. Just curious.
I did tell Jason that you guys should just have like a big jar of gum. You know what I mean? Like.
Oh, they have mints, but I won't let them keep them on the counter.
Why?
Because that's where the dum-dums go.
Oh, gotcha. That's the only reason why I bank with Wells Fargo. Yeah.
Because they have mints or they have dum-dums?
They have dum-dums, you know? That's what really drew me in.
It's important. It really is. What number are you using now? That was a 1.5. And this is a 1? This is my 2. This is what he was already at on the side, so I'm just kind of going back up. Now you know what I was talking about. Girl. No kidding.
About the light?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna spin you this way, but I have some light. Bring this one here.
Sorry.
So I'm just going back in with my other clippers because, like I said, I have a really stupid my 1 to my 1.5 for some reason just doesn't flow right. So this is my 1 in my cordless, and so I just kind of started it opened and went through there, and then I'm going through with it kind of halfway closed.
Next time you go in the sun, you better wear sunscreen.
Dude, I know.
It'll
seriously.
burn really fast.
Well, you know what I did? I just kayak like 15 miles the other day.
Wow.
Yeah, but the neck, your head, honestly, you will get so sunburned if you just go out tomorrow.
I'm tapering.
Well, even where your scalp is.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, put it on your head. That's all I'm saying. 'Cause, I mean, a burnt scalp sucks.
Yeah.
I have one, and I have hair.
Yeah, it's good advice.
Sorry, I had to do it.
And so, what are you drinking? She did.
She has to quit the floats.
Yeah.
What? That was not this morning.
Shot, man.
That was yesterday.
I don't really need to look at it, but I need this, so I'm going to turn him away from the mirror so he doesn't know that I'm doing this.
I had a client that was dripping with sweat the whole time, so I let him hold that, and he held it and on himself the whole time.
Okay, my brother used to do that, and I was like, never mind. Fucking put that back. That's ridiculous. Because then it goes hair at you. Yeah. Okay, so the BMT, right, bottom, middle, top. I'm gonna go bottom, top, middle. Because I know once I cut the top of his hair, it's gonna leave, little cut lines, right? So I'm gonna cut out all this bulk first, and then I'm gonna blend this in. I just feel like it makes it smoother. So since you don't really do your hair that much, and you're not gonna put product in it, and you like it kind of messy, I can pull quite a bit of this length off, right?
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
I mean, I'm not going to scalp you or anything, but
Yeah, do whatever.
the
man.
amount of hair that you have on top
Yeah.
needs stuff done to it,
Okay, cool.
and you're not doing it.
Yeah.
We're going to get rid of it.
Sweet, let's do it, yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and make my guide down the middle, right? Because we're not going to do a side part. I want everything evenly blended on both sides. I'm going to start at the back here. And his cowlick, remember, was already kind of bouncing. And so when it drops, you can see where that U finishes. So I'm actually just going to take that length there and cut everything with that. So that's not going to go any shorter. Everything's just going to match up with it now. And you still have like an inch and a half to each of the hair.
Did he say he doesn't use product insert?
Mm-hmm. We had that conversation like 3 minutes ago.
You're gonna put product insert?
Mm-mm. He does not want, he said he doesn't use product. He's too lazy for it. He doesn't want it.
Yeah, I'm a piece of shit, dude.
Nobody said that. I'm saying I'm going to give you a haircut where you don't have to use product.
Oh, sweet.
Right?
Right on.
Yeah. I just want to know your lifestyle a
Yeah.
little bit
Yeah.
so that I know what's going to work best with your hair, because I don't want to do a haircut on a guy that it's going to need to be blow dried and styled when he's telling me I'm not going to blow dry and style it. So if some dude comes in and shows you a picture of a pompadour and you're like, well, what kind of product are you going to use? Oh, I'm not going to put product in it.
Right.
Well, are you going to like blow dry and style it? No. Well, then I'm not going to cut it into a pompadour. Like, why would I do that? I mean, you don't talk to your clients like that. Some people I know might talk to their clients like that. But I haven't been fired yet, so we're good. No, you want them to get a realistic haircut, right? So I have had clients that come in and they show me this picture and I'm like, cool, so you're gonna need this product and you're gonna need to blow dry like this and you're gonna need this brush, and they're like, wait, what? And I explain to them what they're gonna need and they're like, all right, well, never mind, don't do that, just cut it however you want. Makes everything easier. Or I've had guys insist they want a flat top and you spend 45 minutes cutting a freaking flat top and then they flatten their hair down. And you're like, so why didn't we just do a crew cut then, bro? Like, why did I spend all that time on that flat top? Okay, so after I've gone around and done my length, I always go back and do my cross check, right? So I'm gonna pull it up sideways. So if anything looks bumpy or not the same, honestly, even with mine, there's one up there. If it's straight, I still kind of run my scissors across the top and just make sure that all these little knuckle bumps or anything are nice and smoothed out. And never round down with the forehead, right? That hair, like when we get here, we don't want to cut it down. You always want to make sure that you're pulling it up to maintain that length unless you get done. I always leave the very front a little bit longer and then afterwards they can let them check it out, and if you need to pull it shorter, easy enough. So then very last, after I do all that, we're gonna go to the front and make sure that this all comes up the same. And you guys, I'm sure know, if somebody has a crazy cowlick in the front, you don't pull their hair tight to cut it, because as soon as you let go, then it bounces back up. And you don't hear them. And so you're gonna let their hair fall naturally. Pull it in your fingers, let go so that it can bounce, and then re-grab it, and then cut it. So now the fun blending part, right? This is easy because he's at a 2, so like I'm gonna match up fine. But a lot of times, so when I do this and I pull it out, I use my pinky to anchor this on their head. So then if they move a little bit, or you know, you don't want to dip in, you just kind of anchor yourself there. Take out that ball.
Do you guys use different blending films and press now?
No, we use these.
I cut a guy's hair on, when was last day? Thursday when I worked, and I'm like, how did you hear about us? And he goes, oh, I go to the one in Folsom. Or
Fresno.
Fresno, yeah.
Folsom, what?
Whatever, up north.
Who's training that staff? 'Cause I haven't been there. That's crazy. That's like the second person I've already heard.
Yeah,
Because
that was pretty
you were saying that there was some kid in here that was like, oh, I've been to all 3 of them down there, and now we just moved here.
I met a guy in the Fresno store that he was talking to one of your stylists and said he lived in Mission Viejo, and I go, what? And I said, we opened one here, and he came.
He
So
did?
I saw him get his hair cut. I don't think it was you. I think it was like Candy cut his hair.
Okay.
And then I cut his hair down here. It was crazy.
Nice.
Small world.
Yep.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that tall guy that I did that like mohawk fade on, that's where he was from.
Nice. It's not common.
So notice where his cowlick is here, and notice I'm not cutting into that. I'm leaving that same length where it bounces, and so I'm bringing my fade down below it so that we don't compromise that and make him alfalfa. Do any of you from the group that was here the first time I was here, do you guys have any questions about anything?
Is Ty going to do anything about the lights, you think?
Is what?
Is Ty going to say something about the lights?
I am. I'll look you guys up.
Evan right here is going to go back.
Is
They're
there-
chasing a new one.
Is there any other complaints?
The AC doesn't work.
AC doesn't work.
I think the AC works. I think it's just
Yeah,
there's
it
so
doesn't-
much window and
Does Jason need to change his cologne or something? Or anything else?
Jason's never here.
Jason's never here? Lucky.
Because he's with you guys.
he just signs the checks.
Yeah. He's
He's right there in that camera.
Yeah.
that's true. He's listening to everything.
No,
He's
he'll
like,
be at the bike shop. He'll pull it up. He's like, okay, let's see what's going on in the barbershop.
It's funny. So
do you guys? Is it like a good soap opera, or is it really boring? And you're just
It's
like,
pretty
never
boring,
mind. Yeah.
honestly. We had the bike shop. We just take like a broom and we just move all the cameras. So,
But that's what I was gonna.
yeah, we did.
Oh, you have them at the bike shop too?
Yeah, then we just took them all down. What's he gonna do?
So after I do my fade with my clippers, I always come back because a lot of the time, even like if I kind of round it in, you end up with a little bit of that ridge, right? So if you brush it, make sure everything is laying how it's going to lay, and go back in, grab that, and pull it out. So if I grab this area and pop it out, see how there's still that little bit. I just want to go in and do that. And when I get to the very top, I kind of round that just a tiny bit. Just all these little fine-tuning details that we want to make sure we're doing with our clients, right? That's what makes our haircuts better, is we're paying attention to all those little details. And we're not just trying to chop the hair off their head and get another one in the chair.
Sometimes when you dry the hair before you blend the sides.
Yes. Sometimes people have really fine hair, and so it's really hard to blend when their hair's wet because it just sticks to their head. So it just kind of varies with their hair type. If I think, like with his, it's like halfway, it's kind of damp, but it's easy enough to blend still.
So it does look like different once it dries.
Yes. So remember when I was telling you girls that I do the blow dry while this drape is still on them? It's another reason. So you get it all blow dried. The drape is still on them. Now if I see a spot that I'm like, ooh, I should probably hit like my blending shears through it, they're still buttoned in, right? So this is still just part of my little fine tuning. I like to go in with my scissor over comb if I see certain areas. Close your eyes for me. You got that one mixed up, right?
Oh, hey.
Can I put a little bit of product in your
Yeah,
hair?
like I said, do whatever you were gonna do. Yeah. I tried some of that clay stuff or whatever that is.
Did you?
Yeah, it's alright.
And you?
Oh, you know which one I like? The green
Yeah.
one.
I want the grooming spray. So
Oh.
this is
I
great.
love the grooming spray.
This is amazing, right? If he doesn't like product in his hair, this
Well,
isn't gonna
I'm
feel
not
like there's
against
some
it. I
hairspray
just,
too.
I'm sure, you know, if I was more motivated, I might be able to.
So I'm not telling you a jerk. because
No,
you don't
no,
like
no,
product.
no, I'm just,
Yeah. That's
Well,
not
this a-hole over here.
now I'm
will
like,
let
wow,
me
I
product in
should,
his
right?
hair.
Maybe I should. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see how good this is when it goes.
I want to clean up a little bit on that palette, but without making it go crazy. So basically, if I pull it out, I'm just going to take that tiny corner. Because then it's really not taking that length off. It's just going to hit part of that little corner that's bouncing up on it.
So you're just blending
Well, so I kept the fade kind of low on the cowlick, right? So when I went through and faded, I didn't really like round it in like I did with the sides. So I just kind of looked at that spot and decided there was a little bit kind of bordered out, and so I went ahead and just
got it.
rounded it in a little bit.
That makes sense.
So I'm gonna put finishing product in his hair because he's gonna let me. But if you have a client that's like, I don't like the feel of product in my hair, then the grooming spray is great because you can blow dry their hair and blow dry it off to the side or up a little bit in the front, and it's gonna stay. But then they can still run their hands through it. They don't have that caked in their hair.
Easy hold by uppercut.
You can.
That one's like whipped cream, it feels like, texture.
Yeah, but it's still very dry.
Oh, it's
To
dry.
me,
Okay.
once you put it in your hair, like you can feel that there's
Okay.
stuff in your hair. So this is the only one that you really put in there, and it's gonna do something without feeling like you have a bunch of stuff in your hair. So I always make sure to blow dry if they have a side that has a crazy cowlick in it, or the back that has the cowlick. Always blow dry those trouble areas first. His, I'm already expecting a tiny bit of bounce, right? Because it was bouncing before we even started. But when I cut it, I didn't make it bounce any more than it already was. So it's good. When you do your blow dry, if your heat is on medium, you can basically set it on their head and it's not going to burn them. But if you have the heat on high, please don't burn anybody. So if you were to ever blow dry your hair, start at the back,
Okay.
blow dry it forward, and then once you've got that down, then you kind of come around to the front. Push the front. Ours just kind of like spin. I keep trying to like spin this and it pops off. Oh, yours is spin?
So what is that like spray stuff you put in?
The grooming spray?
Yeah, or that. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. It's a grooming spray. So basically, it's going to add a little bit of hold. It'll add some volume if you want volume in it.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I was saying it's great to put before a styling product because you can basically force your hair. This is the direction I want you, right? So now it's gonna
Yeah,
do
look
that.
how handsome your hair looks. It's like all full and stuff.
Because
So
they're salespeople.
Right?
Ruby spray is really good for fine hair that doesn't want to do anything. It's
It
really
looks awesome.
Yes, the ones that just lay really flat. So yeah, I'm not super happy yet.
Okay.